Well, this is the next project to hit my bench. This is, of course, you've seen plenty of these on this channel before. Victrola, the 9th VV-IX. Common machine, very, very popular back in the day. This one is 1918. And you see them all the time. What you don't usually see too often, though, is the oak ones like this one is. This is quarter sawn oak. The original finish was golden oak on it. In a very light color. You can see it looks dark now because it's aged. That's what happens to shellac finishes when they're 100 and plus years old. And I am lifting the filth off of that finish a little bit at a time using cotton cleanser. As you can see, those rags back there? That's the first layer of crud to come off of this machine. Is on those. It's just black. And it looks so bad that I decided to jump the gun a little bit and clean the cabinet before doing the mechanical service, on that. It's usually something I leave for last because it's my least favorite activity. I wanted to make sure that there was an original finish left under there and that it is recoverable. And that's the result. I've lifted. This was almost black. This machine looked almost black. Now it's lightened up considerably. You can see the grain again, the pattern. And there's a huge water stain on there that is gradually fading away on top. You can see it there, right here. And a little bit over there. I want to make sure I can get rid of that. And I am going to go over this probably 3 or 4 more times with light layers of cotton cleanser. You let it sit a little bit, let it suck out some of the shit, you wipe it off. You don't let it sit there forever. You just scrub with the brush a little bit, and just like this. Cotton cleanser says use 4-0 steel wool. Got some of that too for the really hard stains. And there's no alligator ring on this finish. Kind of surprising, but there isn't. And once the cotton cleanser turns dark, with all the filth coming out, wipe it off. Let it dry. Do it again later. That process can take up to 20 hours. And this machine is worth it, this one, because it's so nice. I noticed on this one, underneath all the nasty, was that there's no damage to the wood. There's no lifted veneer. There's no gouges and scrapes. No huge chunks missing out of the front of the lid. Like here, there were a few paint splatters, but they all have paint splatters. It was really nice, and it did appear to have an original finish hidden underneath all that nasty dirt. Ground in dusts, fingerprint oils, cigarette smoke, mouse droppings, and whatever else hit this thing in its long life. Now you can see over here, this right here, that was the original finish. That's the original color. It's a little bit left over here and slightly. You usually find it on the undersides of the lid like this. This will pop a little bit more when I hit it with some polish and some wood feeder. Wherever this machine was sitting must have been hot and dry is what I'm thinking. This will clean up a little bit too. I hit that with cotton cleanser also, not tonight because I'm out of paper towels. But we'll be hitting that eventually with more. And we will make a big mess again. You still see the chalk marks from the factory are still in there. I sucked up, I don't know how many needles were floating around in there. Had to get in there with a magnet and just go to town. Drag them all out. There's a pencil mark there. You see it on the side. Again, from the factory. Oddly enough, this horn doesn't have the little tray, which I would have expected, kind of cast into it, like a little tray right here to catch the drippings. I don't know if that's something they did away with for the war or not really sure, because I'm pretty sure I have seen that little tray on 1919 and 1920 machines and above that I've done, as well as older ones, obviously. It doesn't really matter that much. But then I figured a preliminary look at what the cabinet looks like. And like I said, this is never going to look like that out here. Because shellac finishes, it's their nature. They darken with age. It's not just all fingerprint oils and cigarette smoke and nicotine. A lot of it's age. It's just time. Shellac is a natural material. And as a natural material, it ages. It just does. Poly probably lasts 10,000 years. But shellac will darken with age, especially if it's exposed to sunlight. I'm pretty sure this machine was somewhere. So, let's see. Come on. Should leave those open so the cotton cleanser doesn't stick a little bit over there. Probably should get under here a little bit. I think I left some. Oh, yeah, yuck. I did. And I'll get all in there and here. You can see the original finish is left here where it was protected. But you can see on the outside it's much darker. This will pop once you put the wood feeder on it. Cotton cleanser tends to dry out the finish a bit. So I hit it with the wood feeder after. Not now. This is going to take months. It's winter time. I won't be out here working all the time. I'll hit that once it's cleaned. I'll hit it with wood feeder. The wood will reabsorb a lot of the nutrients, oils it needs. And it'll really bring out the grain quite a bit. Not my first rodeo with these oak machines. Most of these were mahogany. The vast majority, I think, of 9s were mahogany. I forget what the breakdown was. But that was the popular choice back then. In 1918, everybody liked that dark look. That dark wood look, dark red wood. You know, everything was red mahogany. But somebody decided to be different and went with the oak. This was the cheaper choice. You saved a few bucks. Got a great machine. And now, tastes have changed over the last 100 years. Oak is more appreciated now than mahogany is. Even though mahogany is great wood too. It looks great. I've done many mahogany 9s. And I'm not planning on doing too many of these this year. I only have a few. I got rid of a few already. And I have a mahogany one to do after this. That's not quite as well preserved as this one is, but it's still pretty nice. And I understand a friend of mine is holding 2 for me. He said there's going to be some 9s coming up. But for right now, this is the project. I'm not going to start an assembly line of this particular model. But it's definitely not abused. It looks pretty good. The exhibition reproducer was still on this. I've all taken apart now, and that's going to be rebuilt. I'm probably going to upgrade it to a Victrola number 2, because that was a popular choice 1 year after this was made. A lot of people went to that. And it's getting increasingly expensive to rebuild exhibitions of late. That back gasket, $25, $30, $35, come on. I like the exhibition, but not that much. So if I can do the number 2 a little bit cheaper, I would prefer. And besides which, number 2, now that single-piece gaskets are available for it, is probably the easiest one to do. At least that part of it. Straightening a needle bar is still going to take you 2 hours, but at least the diaphragm work is much, much easier. And it's a better sounding reproducer anyway. But there you go. There is an oak Victrola the 9th. The next patient on the bench here. Something was weird about this machine. A little bit. Where's the parts pieces here? Some of the screws. These are the screws that hold down the tone arm. Look how rusty that is. The rest of the screw is nice, but that is heavily rusted. So much so that I'm going to hit one of my parts machines, which I still have. And actually, I think I have a whole drawer full of screws. Oh, yeah. There's a whole drawer full of screws. Cleaner one. I don't know why this is showing signs of moisture. A lot of moisture. Yet the wood shows no signs of moisture at all. Not even a little bit. I mean, I've had machines, because remember, on the 9, this is all veneer here. This is veneer, the doors, everything. And the only thing that's not veneer is just here on the lid. And the feet and parts like this, that's not veneer. But everything else is. The top panel is veneer. And I've had machines that had beautiful, shiny hardware, and veneer was lifting everywhere. That I had hours and hours of work repairing. So I have no idea why with this one. Some of the screws are just really rusted. It almost looks like they were dipped in salt. It's really what it looks like. And then other things here, not all the screws were. Some of them, let's see. That's the motorboard screw. Look at it. It's fine. The escutcheon, whoopsie, get over here. Get a lot away from me. The escutcheon, that's got a little bit of corrosion on it, but that'll come off. Not worried about that. But then you have, this is one of the screws that holds the horn to the board. Look at it. That's nasty. That's like recovered off the ocean floor. No idea why. And look at the hinge. The hinge is fine. The lid stay is fine. And they're right there in the same spot. Go figure that. You know, the tone arm is tarnished, and it needs a clean, but it's not bad. Not at all. Now, that's all normal stuff, and for once, nothing's missing here. And this one had a duster with it. Where is it? Is that it? Yeah. This duster was with this machine. Gunther Kenny Incorporated, Brunswick and Victor Phonographs and Records, 59 North Street, Middletown, New York. Middletown, New York is like a half an hour from here. Not even. Yet this machine came out of Florida. So go figure. Somebody emigrated down there from New York, probably 50, 80 years ago, brought their phonograph with them, and now it's come close to home. Excuse me, the dust. But there we go. Just a quick preliminary look at a work in progress. It is definitely coming along, and this will show up again eventually in another video.